So now imagine if they have a remote control system in your body that's tracking your heart rate, your health, what did you have for lunch, whatever they want. Now they can gather this data from you. Right. So they want to target you. Now, what if you mess up, right? What if you're thinking about committing a crime? They can potentially blow you up or, force you to reverse. Or what if they want you to commit a crime? Now, these things might seem ridiculous, but Bill Gates was talking about it today, that we would know instantly if someone was safe if they'd been vaccinated. So vaccines have never been about curing or treating or preventing disease. They've always been about causing the disease, right? There's no way to infect viruses the way that they describe them. It's the DNA materials that they're not what we think. So this whole thing is to force here, right? So now here's what's brilliant though. Dan, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So this is all based on frequency, right? Based on frequency. So the 5G, the reason why it's harmful, it vibrates at a super high frequency, right? 5G, and they're activating it, and it's gonna wipe out a lot of people, right?
Right.
So what happened? Well, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, Kim changed over all of the operating systems on the planet to basically run so that source energy comes through them. Now, source being the Heisenberg principle, or the God particle, right? Mm-hmm. This light particle, which we know, the quantum particles, which scientifically everything is made up, right? It's the core substance of plasma and all matter, everything that you see is made from these quantum light particles, right? That are in everything. So she reverses the flow. So that now as you're on your electronic device, instead of it pushing out radiation, it's actually drawing in source energy, this light particles, right? So the more of these light particles that are in your body, the more life, light, or God energy you have in your body. So what happens? We all begin to vibrate at a higher frequency. Now, for the skeptics out there, we know this because the Schumann resonance has been at 7.85 forever, right? That's been the standard. Mm-hmm. But now look at it. The Schumann resonance has been shooting up for the past year, huge, over 100 at times. Now that's a big jump, right? That's because the collective frequency and the vibration of the planet has rose up.
That's incredible. I feel it. I can physically feel it.
Right. So Kim anticipated them doing this. And to minimize the losses, she began to increase. Now, by the way, this is Kim did not say this. All these things are facts, except for the conclusion is my own, okay? But she anticipated this. So the frequency, she's been raising the frequency of the people on the planet, naturally, whether they want it or not, right? They're naturally becoming more whole, more connected. So, from there, right, now they're going to launch their big plan, right? They start sending out messages to test to see how it's going to do, right? And what they expected was people be at a low frequency. You introduce a high frequency, it's going to mess all these people up, make people sick, instantaneously make cells toxic. But it doesn't happen. It's diminished by like 63%, right? At least, right? We know they sent messages out to their 5G system, and it was like 63% down. And that doesn't count all the places where there is no 5G, right? So their plan is dramatically diminished from that little statistic, right?
And the first city that had all 5G, or does have all 5G, is Wuhan, which is why they have so many people there that have been started out sick, right?
Right. So their bodies, everybody, they're able to adjust faster to the damage this would have done. Because you can imagine if this is how virus, because this is these pandemics, the Spanish flu, right? These different kind of major things, they wiped out, millions and millions of people, right? And right now they are trying to portray that this is wiping out all these people. Right. But really, is it? Are we being honest? Is it really wiping out people? Because I know this for a fact. This is directly from doctors here in New York, as well as confirmed reports from other people who I don't know, and different parts of the country as well. But mainly in New York, I've heard this. They're going in. Someone dies at night from something completely unrelated to corona.
Yeah.
Put on the chart, pneumonia, heart attack. Next day they come in, charts change, coronavirus.
What a bunch of scoundrels. I bet Dr. Smith at Elmhurst in New York might be part of that. I'm just thinking.
So Dr. Colleen Smith in New York, yes. She admitted, she said, she goes, I used to see 200 patients a day. Yeah. Now think about 200 patients. 200 patients a day, talking 3 minutes per patient. 200 patients a day. Then she says, now it's 400. It's 400 patients a day. Right. So so 400 patients a day. Then she says, but and then we look at the X-rays. I'm like, how the hell you got time to X-ray? How you got time to X-ray? You got a minute and a half with every patient, but you had time to X-ray. She got time to X-ray. We looked at the lungs. She goes, and sure enough, it presents as corona. In other words, it looks like corona. So we just decided it.
It must be.
Yeah.
Looks like a duck. So we're calling it a duck.
We're not testing. Now, the reason why they're probably not testing, because in all likelihood, the tests were cut off because the original tests from the WHO were designed to make people sick. Right. And they were also designed to be false positives, right?
Well, there's not a...
And then we also know the flu vaccine was designed to be a false positive.
Yeah, I think this social distancing actually worked. Right, and so not enough people are sick now, so they have to make it up.
Well, they said in Italy, out of the 3,000 people that have died, because that was hit pretty hard, that only 2 people actually died from the coronavirus because they're actually taking the time to test these people's organs after they're dead. And when I read that article a couple of days ago, they thus far were only able to test 18% of the dead because it's very time consuming. So that seems more realistic than all the X-rays that Dr. Smith is doing. And they said only 2 people of the whole 3,000 actually had the real coronavirus. So people that were dying, they were swabbing their nostrils and saying, oh yeah, they have something in there and it looks like coronavirus. So they were attesting all these, deaths to the coronavirus, which was fake. And so I just kind of don't believe them, Tank, all these people that are dying of the coronavirus. I just don't think it's that legit.
Now, I want doctors to come out. I know a lot of doctors, right? And most of them are corporate shills, right, who are currently working for some corporate entity, and they're like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yet, when you had a full-on camera crew in what has been described as the epicenter of the pandemic in the United States at Elmhurst Hospital, right? And I have been to this hospital. I used to call on this hospital for a long time. I used to go in there, and I sold insulin at the time. I'd go in and go to the hospital all the time. That hospital could be insane. You never know who's going to be there, how many people are going to be there, right? Especially, people, like all of Flushing, right, is known for this, that you have Chinese and Korean people in Flushing, which is right near Elmhurst, right? Now, in that population, a lot of them come over from China and Korea, and they immediately get free healthcare. So, and they work the system. They're very open about it, right? There's a lot of Asian doctors there, either Chinese or Korean, and they talk about it openly, right? Like, yes, we know this, right? And they actually will support each other's business by coming in to see the doctors, right? It's a very tight-knit community.
Oh, yes.
So, it's always packed. There's always tons of people there. But in this, now they show it, there's supposed to be lines outside, right? So they put up like barriers and stuff to make it look like, oh, it's so chaotic. We're putting up tarp. We're putting up blue tarp. It must be serious, right? And there's like some people outside in line, because if you keep pumping fear porn, right, out to create this fearocracy to constantly promote, oh my God, we're fighting this with all we have. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? So they're promoting fear everywhere. Everyone's scared, right? But then you look inside the hospital, this woman is talking about it. Now, Dan, this is my favorite part. Oh my God, this is hilarious when this happens. The Dr. Colleen Smith, 72 hours, she's walking around the epicenter of this disastrous, terrifying event, right? Pandemic worldwide. She's walking around. Now, 72 hours with a film crew following you.
Secretly.
And so far, we haven't seen anyone even remotely look concerned. We're just kind of walking around, like, nobody get. Matter of fact, you see about hardly any patients. There's definitely twice as many medical staff as our patients, at least twice. So then she goes, as if she's being courageous, right? She goes, I don't care if I get in trouble. I'm speaking out. This is. I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're speaking out? Like, you don't care? You're not being brave? Your corporation, that hospital, paid you to promote the company line, how terrifying the coronavirus is. You took the opportunity to advance your career, and you're walking around the hospital with a film crew behind you. Now everybody thinks you're important and they see you. But the reality is, there's no one there. It's not.
Yeah, there's no chaos.
The way they're describing
there's nothing going on. It's really strange. Right? Really strange. There's nothing going on in that whole hospital, right? And they have their ventilators, in nice bubble wrap, right, sitting there.
Right, with no one attached to them, because people are dying.
People are dying. They're just sitting here, right?
Yeah, I know. Like, oh my God, 5 ventilators. Thank God. Wait a minute. You're in a state of panic and emergency. Why aren't those ventilators hooked up to people? Either you guys suck. That's why people are dying, because you guys are inept.
Oh, wait. Don't hook them up to people yet. We have a film crew. We got to film them first.
Yeah. Listen, tell that guy to just wait on the breathing. We want to show people they showed up.
Hold your breath. We'll be right there.
It's really urgent, but this is, kind of an important career opportunity.
So don't spread germs. We're going to disconnect you for a little bit for camera reasons.
I can be online. Give me a break.
One of the other things they said in Italy, Tank, was that of 3 people of the 3,000, I think, all of them had already passed their life expectancy. And they all had 3 or 4 medical issues. So I think that what they're attributing to is natural death, people that are just dying naturally of old age or illness, they're attributing all of the deaths in Italy. People die every day, right, in this country, in Italy, and they're attributing all deaths now to coronavirus. It's such a joke. So insane.
What a sham. What an absolute sham. So I just thought it was a huge thing to connect that. I wouldn't have gone into all the other detail. Luckily Dan came over here. But the piece that I think is really important, Dan, is part of the reason why this is happening, right? It just further speaks to what Kim has had the ability to do that most people, I'm sure almost no one would even talk about, right? So now, we're in this. You're watching this incredible transition that just took place, and I think I had this right too. Again, I haven't got this confirmed from Kim, but so you just had this bill pass, right? Now I think this is brilliant. All right, now I'm going to put this together in the right way. So essentially, the Federal Reserve gets resolved and kind of sandwiched into the Treasury, right?
Well, yeah, I actually, this is what I was going to name this. Well, I did name this episode. Oh, sorry.
Go for it. Yeah. Did you go live on your side? Because you can. I'll wait. I mean,
I did. When I came on,
I don't know that we're showing up live, Tank. So I'm glad that Dan is.
Oh, it's good to know because I didn't even record. So that was not going to be
Oh, don't tell me that.
It shows we're live on YouTube on Zoom.
It does, but I've had people tell me. I just asked our crew. I'm going to hit the record button. It's a little late now, but just for the sake of history and
he's joking, man.
Bloopers.
I really appreciate that you're trying to be, in more of the pink club, but you went way far off into the red.
Yeah, but Tank actually has a suntan today, so his is real, Dan.
It was like 80 degrees here today. I was just outside.
Oh, that's what it is.
So
okay,
jealous.
all right. I thought you just dropped yourself in a pot of boiling water like a lobster.
Even my lips are like super red. I don't know why. I'm not doing anything different. I'm just
80 degrees will do that. I'm jealous.
So.
It snowed here yesterday, so yeah, I'm a little jealous.
Yeah. Well, on that note, of the Federal Reserve being folded into the Treasury, I pulled up the article. It's a Bloomberg article that actually goes into the reason is so it's kind of a backdoor way of doing things, right? It is de facto incorporating it into the U.S. It kind of, I mean, to put it in some slang, makes the Fed the Treasury's bitch. You know, it really. I'm going to be.
Put it in some slang.
Yeah, I'm going off in the deep end here, but getting having the Treasury in essence buy up all of the paper, including can be stock, bonds, everything on the stock market, and literally within a year can own 2/3 of all of it, right? And the Fed just prints the money to do so.
So wouldn't that be Steve Mnuchin as Trump's B word?
And basically makes Trump in charge. He basically
and Mnuchin the head of the Treasury. So basically, Mnuchin will be Trump's B word.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tank's dreams have come true.
all the other things, right, that were going on with that Dan, right? They all the other pieces get buried, right? Like all these things they were trying to incorporate, they're gone, right? So everything that was like, all the crazy ad hoc things they tried to throw into a tragedy, assholes, sorry, but I mean, come on. Like, what kind of people do that? It's disgusting. You're saying in one breath it's a terrible emergency, next breath you're trying to screw everybody over, right? So all that gets taken out, right? And then there's also the Stafford Act, right? It's also in effect. And President Trump put out a tweet today, and he's like, something about what I have to bring out the P for the Defensive Protection Act, right? So you have the Defensive Protection Act, which basically the Defensive Protection Act makes it, or Defense Protective Act, Defense Protection Act makes it so the president doesn't have to consult with Congress.
Right.
He has the power of the purse over the Treasury, and he has the power over the military. Right.
Oh, he's Emperor. He's Emperor Trump.
He's Emperor Trump, right?
As it
I
was,
love what he's doing.
As it was going to be Empress Hillary, right?
Right.
It was going to be Empress Hillary, and now all of this has been set up, and now Trump is saying, "Great, let me go ahead and take complete control, and I get rid of you," and that's what and that's what he's doing. So it's marvelous. I mean, it's
so clever.
Yeah, it's like he's what he calls himself a stable genius, right? But that stable genius term came from the QAnon side, but now Trump is now saying, "Yeah, I'm a stable genius." Well, who else has said that? Well, that came out on QAnon. So
right.
So anyway, I have the article lined up. If we, I think it's good to go through it, and we can then discuss, the bits and pieces of it. So it'll take about 5 minutes to go through it. But it's
Tank, or Dan, before you do that,
yeah.
I just want to let Tank know that we're not live. No, we are now. It's showing, but the whole beginning was cut off. Just so you know, is what I'm hearing. So we may have to do it.
Don't know what
I'm
to do.
so upset.
They're double broadcasting okay, there. That's gone. Don't worry about that. I'll go back to that stuff later.
Just want to let you know the whole beginning of our show did not air.
Yeah,
we didn't record it.
I got it.
Dan broadcasting this was amazing, and now.
but we missed the whole live update with Tank thing because we did a live update. Sorry, you guys all missed it. We may have to do a redo.
Oh, we got part of it. I got online as soon as I got on. Relatively, it takes a minute or so.
You're right. You got it. You were right in time. Yeah. My goal was to do a 6-minute update and then come over.
Yeah.
But
6 minutes has turned into 30. So sorry.
It's all right.
Like a machine over here.
We followed the source and it led us to here, so I was able to go on. I wouldn't have come on except you answered the telegram when I called you.
Well, I was trying to tell you what I was doing, but I don't think you could hear me.
I heard everything, but you couldn't hear. It seemed like I was trying to talk to you, but you weren't saying anything. So then I just so I jumped off and jumped on because I figured we might as well just go on and start broadcasting, and I did. So anyway,
Dan, when I'm looking for Tank, I go to Zoom too. because it's the most likely place I'll find him. Just hang out here waiting for hours until Tank, takes my calls or shows up.
I'm sorry to lie, man.
Yeah, I was actually thought of what you were just was said about doing a 6-minute short. I thought of doing a 6-minute short. I was thinking it would be more like 5 minutes, but okay, 6 minutes of this. What happened with the folding in of the Fed and the Treasury. And the interesting thing is on X22 in the very beginning, he says that the Treasury was nationalized.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
He said that. And I said, Treasury nationalized? Well, I thought it was nationalized. I thought it was part of the government.
Right. And they also, so with that, because the Treasury is nationalized, they kind of outed what it really was. Because they said that means Goldman Sachs, Chase Bank, and I don't know what the other ones were, those ones I heard. Well, that backs up what we just reported last night, that Kim transferred $2 trillion into Chase Bank. And then they didn't do what they were supposed to, which is transfer the money. So she pulled the money out, right? Or she pulled it all back. So Mnuchin says, you're bankrupt. You bankrupt the banks. Why? Because the only job they had was really, because they were $47 trillion in debt or something like that, reported back 6 months ago. So they didn't have any way to ever, they were completely insolvent. Which, by the way, for the record, Chase turned over to the government for like $1. But I put in a formal offer to buy Chase Bank for $2.
I would have doubled that offer if I had the opportunity.
I took that very seriously. Very seriously. I had my lawyer and the whole team of guys do this to draw up a very formal proposal. I was really hoping, like maybe she'll just say yes.
That would have been great.
Yeah. Well, that's good. She should have taken that offer, but maybe there were some reasons why she wanted to go the other way.
Security issues there, I think. Yeah. So anyways, so this is really incredible, right? Because what I love about this, oh my God, I want confirmation. I haven't even got through to Kim. So either she's very busy, making it rain, but or or something like that, right? She's got security issues, maybe. I don't know. I trust she's okay, but I think it's a breakthrough, right? Because she just basically put them on blast. She must have broadcast everything she was doing, because for these guys to try to take advantage of the whole country, right, in a time of urgency like this that they created, right? But now it's all public and everybody really wants it to stop. And then she transfers money. They don't do what they're told. All they had to do was transfer the fee. But Thomas was very adamant about this last night, right? Nobody in this whole state of emergency will receive, relief funding until the fee the fee is paid properly to the trust. Now, the reason why that is because they're going to keep on gouging everyone.
Sure.
I mean, they've stopped funding for all types of major things. Well, something has to be done. And the only thing that can really be done is to keep them from being paid, which is what, I'm putting the tea leaves together here based on facts, and I'm realizing, like, oh, this is how this fits together, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. It's a really great time. Oh, and by the way, that would also mean, right now, the best possible thing to do, right, for the, coronavirus myth is to raise your vibration.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
The higher your vibration is, vibrate above the 5G, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can't hurt you. So that's my conclusion here.
I love that. I've been saying that, I think, to Tank, you and I have talked off the air so many times about us all raising our vibration to just bring it in. Because I feel like when we're vibrating low, we block our blessing. I mean, we've talked about that so many times, right? So yes, I love it. Oh, and we did the math today, just in case you guys didn't.
And Lisa,
2% of $2 trillion is $44 billion. I'm gone?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. Did you get that? Did you get the
numbers?
Yeah,
so $44 billion
Do you think that would be project funds, or do you think Kim has other ideas with that?
Lunch
Well, I'm
money.
sure. Yeah, I mean, she has projects that she personally has set up, and then I know there's like, Thomas and I are kind of like project, finders. Like my create change is approved, and People's Club, right? Now that works, but we Kim and I had worked together on this to kind of make it so, we have groups set up around that can approve projects, right? So that's project funds to go out, and then they get to approve project funds to go to the system the way Kim has it set up. I think she's going to use those fees to pay some administrative costs that she's
incurred.
Lots of people that work for her that haven't got paid, and then also, and to get not relief, I guess, but to get things started,
Okay.
to get money out there. But the real problem, really, what Kim has always said, whatever the government gets, the people get. So they got $2 trillion. I expect $2 trillion coming in for the people for project funds.
That would be so incredible.
Yeah. So, but she said it all along. She goes, if the government gets $1, the people get $1.
That's right. I forgot about that. You're right. Okay, so Kim just gets it. She probably has incurred a lot of.
No, wasn't that renegotiated to where because she got mad and because they didn't fulfill their side, and she kind of reduced it to where it was like, I don't know, like what was it, like
20%
80-20?
or something?
It was 80-20, so, 80 for the people, 20 for the banks.
She's been outing them.
That's right.
She's been outing them with these programs, right? She knew they would never do it. She gave them the option to be 50-50. Or it was like one-third. A third goes to the people, a third goes to the government, a third goes to them. Now, that was very generous on her part, right? And she really leaned into it to acting, really making it seem like they would take that offer, right? She was acting, but she knew they wouldn't. But she was doing that, I think, and this is my opinion, that she was doing that as part of her plan. Like, I'm going to show the world that they will not cooperate. They do not have your best interest in mind. Everybody projecting and talking about these secret funds they have, they don't. To do that, she had to go through all these steps to show none of you have money. Because how do you prove something to people if no one's cooperating with you, right? You have to create situations. You have to control the things you can't control and create desperation, and need in a place where they have no options but to come to you. Like with me, I don't know, with Thomas, I guess he just got it, but with me, like, she was very kind. Like, she put me on a lot of calls to hear these conversations with these guys who all thought they were such prominent and important people. And I heard the way she dealt with them over and over again, and they all came back to the same question. So I was convinced, if I would have been more astute, I would have recorded those calls, I guess.
I've been on a couple, and they're so fun. Remember the guy that said, "I'm so powerful, I can't give you my name"? Remember that one?
He said, "Who is this?" And then I had to convince him that I knew what I was talking about.
Right.
Oh, Kim. He was blown away by her.
Yeah, and then he just fell off the planet. Remember when we realized he wasn't as cool as he thought, and he just fell off the planet.
You're messing with my ego here. Don't be messing with my ego.
No, I called him out, but no, he actually was cool. He came back around and started working with Kim.
Okay.
So, he did. Okay, I missed that. So, late to the party on that one.
I wasn't in the loop at that point. but hey, I got him there.
Okay, then I'll stop talking trash on air then.
So this is one thing I got to make sure I put this part out. So I guess everybody probably, at least if anybody's watching on the Speak Project side, you probably missed the first part, but I will say this whole coronavirus thing, viruses are caused from the cells being toxic, being exposed to something like 5G, for example, right? And the 5G it's vibrates at a high frequency. It can hurt people and cause the cells to be toxic. So the cells, they secrete waste in the form of RNA, which manifests as a virus, which tries to escape your body via sneezing, coughing, all these different ways, right? And that's the idea. Now, in general, you took that substance and gave it to someone else who has healthy, non-toxic cells. It's not going to make them sick. But if they've been directly injected with a toxic vaccine or something, right? Flu shot, it's already registering coronavirus, right? They already planted it there. or they're also being exposed to heavy 5G and it's making them toxic, it would spread. Now, they expected this to spread on a much faster and aggressive level. Project 201, they wanted to go out and kill 65 million people plus, right?
Right.
This was their goal, right? To get things started, get the big genocide part started, right? But by planting the seed that, okay, Corona, it's out there, right? The whole pandemic thing, what happens? Now Bill Gates gets to come in with basically saying, like, hey, you know what we can do to fix this? I could chip you. I could put microchips in you and track every place you go, start to make decisions for you, and make you more efficient.
Well, and wouldn't they also make you sick? So, wouldn't they also be able to say, oh, we don't really like Tank that much. He kind of ruins the party for us. So we're going to make sure that he gets coronavirus. I mean, wouldn't they be able to just say, oh, this person's sick. We gotta, quarantine them, and then God knows what happens.
I would imagine they could probably, like, with the remote control, like, take all the nanites and have them collectively smash your eyeballs out. I mean, you do anything. Right? Like,
we're not graphic on the show at all, but yes, I get that.
So
I'm just trying to think of, like, they could, like, you can imagine, because this is what happens to tyrants, right? When you have a tyrant who hates people in charge, they do things so that it'll be easier for you to comply, right? One of the things they do is they terrify you, so they'll do things. This is like what the Mexican cartels do, right? When they kill someone, they'll dramatically left a dismembered body laid out, hung up off a bridge, so everybody knows this
not to do that.
This guy was a snitch. That's where he is. So everybody sees it. It's terrifying, right? Like, remember I got those death threats? I don't know if I sent you the pictures, Dan. I got the death threats, and they basically they sent me pictures of, like, a guy chopped up and his head there off and his genitals in his mouth, right? Like, nothing they do to be dramatic, right? Like, let me know this is what happened, right?
So they could also adjust our frequency then, and they could filter in fear and other emotions and lower our vibration. So we're all just a bunch of zombies walking around, if they wanted to, if we let them inject us with that, right?
Well, that's what they're doing right now. So this is what I mean by the answer. If everyone wants to change this situation, send this video out to everybody, because this, I mean, I'm sorry for not being as. The goal was to be very effective. I didn't necessarily accomplish that, but the message is still the same, because this is the truth. So if that's the case, right, now there has been frequencies that the whole quantum system was reversed, so that instead of pulling and drawing people's energy, it's pushing back out this quantum energy through all the computer systems, right? And by doing this, it really messes up their whole plan. Because think about it, if you force a quarantine and you're emitting 5G through everyone's homes and everything, into all the computer devices, then you got kids and everybody glued to this, people would have just started getting sick, sitting at home, right? Because, I mean, you got school, you got all the kids stuck at home. What are they doing? They're on their devices all day. It's usually this is a cold month in the winter, right? But then you're told you can't go outside. What are they going to do? Parents got to work.
And Dr. Smith was telling us, not that this is necessarily true, that it's really attacking people aged 30 to 50.
Right.
So she's planting the seed, right, of saying who's going to get sick and how many. And then Cuomo said half of New York's going to get. I actually had a friend tell me in Idaho today that, did you hear that half the people in New York are going to get coronavirus?
Freaking bullshit.
No.
I swear, I'm
so
going to walk into the
planting,
hospital.
right? They're just telling people what they're using neuro-linguistic programming to plant the seed of how sick we're going to be, how many of us are going to die, and they just want that coming out of mainstream news, and people just fall for it. It's amazing how obvious it is.
We were discussing a lot for the last, 3-4 days about Dr. Fauci, and how he seems like he's very much into getting people to stay at home for months, right? And that and I made a comment about his he might have some reptilian in him. Guess what came out today? That he is attached to the Clinton Foundation, and the money that was put out for AIDS in Ethiopia, right? The money that disappeared. He was part of that, along with the current WHO director.
Really? Wow.
Incredible coincidence.
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it interesting? So, and he's been part of the administration going back to Bush, Obama, Clinton. You know, so we got all of the. He's been there throughout the whole thing. Yeah, he knows the plan, and so he's going along with things. But you know, Trump keeps his enemies close, right? And then when he's done with them, because he's done, you know, standing next to Dr. Fauci, right? And the one day he doesn't have Dr. Fauci standing there at one of the briefings, the press goes, "Is there a problem? Are you in disagreement with him?"
Really close.
They were trying to
right?
warn
With this new deal that passed.
Yeah, well,
today he's keeping Mnuchin really close. Tank's favorite person.
My dream is to have Mnuchin be forced to call me, and call me Mr. Rowe. Or actually, I'd love him to call me Mr. Tank when he calls.
Mr. Tank. Yeah.
And publicly apologize for everything he's done to you. That would be one. So I think I'm gonna send Trump a note and just ask him. I'm gonna put it out there, Tank.
I don't want his apology. I care less what he has to say. What I'd rather is just, I'd like to assist you to move money. And then I would say, could you please give me someone more qualified? Because we've been trying to use you to move money for a long time. We know you can't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, this is the time for him.
Great look.
Like
sometimes we get Tank in those things, and it's not always the best look.
I know. I'm not broadcasting. Actually, it actually disconnected me from YouTube. Interesting enough.
Haha! We got you, YouTube, because we're broadcasting at our end now. We have to put this one together.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
They're so clever, aren't they?
Oh yeah, my goodness.
But I was really hanging on what you were saying, Dan. Once you get back up and running, you know.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if I'm still streaming or not. Nope, I'm not streaming yet. It hasn't come back on yet.
Well, you know, when they let us go live, the one thing the cabal cannot plan for is free will. You don't know what we're going to say in the midst of you got to shut down the live feed, right? Because what if we say something that's going to mess up their whole agenda, right?
Right.
So they have a couple tricks, right? What they like to give me is Satan voice, right? So when I start out, they'll take my voice and slow it down, right? It's not my bandwidth. It's not my bandwidth because I'm hardlined in. There's nothing else on. I choose the times of night where there's nothing going on. So they'll do Satan voice. So I log off, go back on. But you know what they did in this one video? They actually
we are back on live. It is streaming again. So just so you know, we're back on.
No, yeah, we were streaming on our end too. So they can't hide the video. We got it out there. Yeah, they like kind of perverted my face. So you see my face is like, I'm like, what happened there? What did they do, right? Because my face normally doesn't do that.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Oh yeah,
I missed that.
It goes that way.
Okay, so let me give you my intel that they just had to stop. Are we still broadcasting? Yes. Okay. So I was told that the money is scheduled for Tuesday. To be moved on Tuesday. The big sums of money are scheduled for Tuesday.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know how dramatic that was, but it's from our contact in the Central Bank of England. So it's interesting.
Excellent. Well, you know what I realized based on really extensive research into the cartoon Popeye, is that Wimpy was actually a representative of the bank, right? Like he's all the time. He's like, hey, I would like a cheeseburger today, and I'll gladly pay you Tuesday, because Tuesday to Thursday is really when all the banks go to work, right? That's when all the money goes out. So that's what he represents. Wimpy is the banks. The banks are Wimpy. So that's my insight today on that.
Well, we also have an interesting thing that Boris Johnson has coronavirus. Okay, great, right? So wouldn't it be really cool if he just starts taking that medication for the malaria medication, the Koalaquin, and he is cured?
Yes, that would be the
amazing. It would be amazing if that happens. Means he didn't have to have a vaccine. And I noticed that Trump and keeps every time he's up talking about this. Oh yes, and now we got to like start working on the vaccine, and 18 months from now, we can bring in a vaccine, right? So he's like saying, yeah, we're all for the vaccine. Yeah, in 18 months after, hey, you don't want any of that poison being put into your body. Now, if it's not working or if it's bad, you don't want that in your body. So Trump said that. So I was like, yeah.
You know, I think it'll be really amazing. We can actually start to introduce more innovative frequency-based vaccines, right? Where we just create stronger human beings, and also probably shut down organizations that are poisoning the water and the food and the air. I feel like that
And
would probably
undo
cut
the
down a lot.
damage.
I mean, can we do
Undo
that
the
simultaneously? You know, we could do both of those at the same time.
Right.
That'd be amazing.
I also think we should make death illegal. We should make death illegal immediately. So,
Well, I think Borgifying people should be made illegal. So, you know,
That's a good
adding
point.
nanites, you know, that is the way that you become a Borg, is actually through nanites. And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that when we first started today, I had no idea that there was nanites at that level that is already available to Bill Gates. And, however, you know, he could never make Windows work, but he can make a nanite work.
yeah, it's a fine line.
I hope they don't have the Microsoft operating system in the nanites. Well, maybe I do wish they have the Microsoft operating system in the nanites.
I want to like pull up. You know, I don't think they call it nanites actually, but that is what it is. Yeah. Fascinating stuff. You know, you think about it, it's like wow. You know, here's Bill Gates of hell. You know, just kind of putting it out there. Like they have to tell you what you're doing, right? So that's what he did. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up for you. But yeah, so I don't know, man. That's pretty much what I got. I'm very excited about everything that's going on right now. I'm enjoying the show. You know, as Q instructed.
Right.
Enjoying the show.
Well, I'm glad you got on board with that. You hope you got your popcorn.
You know, there's the, you know, there is talk of, you know, the gold standard now. That is one thing that Kim said will happen. That is very much alive. She said that actually will happen. That was supposed to happen in September of 2018, I think, or 19 maybe 2019. But you know, but hey, the president's working with Kim. They're exposing this whole thing. You know, I actually saw pictures of JFK Jr. like. And it looked like he was alive, and like he was like an older version of himself. Now it could have totally been Photoshop, but man, it looked really good.
Oh yeah, there's a lot on JFK Jr. You know, hanging out, and you know, when it first came out, the storylines, I'm going, that would be really awesome if he comes back and he becomes like the vice president candidate, you know, under Trump, like for the next term. I said, unstoppable, right? You know, it's like you get it's the merger of the Democrats and the Republicans. Great, you know, you get the best and throw away all the garbage. That's really what we're talking about. Like coming together. Don't need the parties. We need to basically have one agenda, which is to make America great, and then make the world great.
Yes, agreed.
I really want, if they come out, I would like it to be, I'd like it to be like the movie Idiocracy, when the president of the United States at that time is Hector Mountain Dew Camacho, 5-time SmackDown champion. it's like the greatest introduction ever. He comes out of like for Congress, and it's just like a wrestling match. Everyone's going crazy. That's what I want it to be like if JFK Jr. comes out to actually be alive. That would be the biggest.
I get it.
The most amazing thing in political history.
We got the Archbishop keeps calling in.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he maybe wants the link. Maybe he wants to log on. Should I send him the link?
You can. We're gonna jump off, though, I think.
Yeah, we're about done.
Yeah, everything out.
Yeah.
Anything else important we gotta get out there?
No, I guess I can turn this this article into a short 6 minutes. put it out.
No, you can break it down. Go for it.
What are you gonna do? All right. Go for it. There we go. I'll share it first with you. Let me flip the screen around so everyone can see it.
Very interesting.
There we go. Okay, so this is from Bloomberg, but I have it on Yahoo Finance. So the Fed's cure risks being worse than the disease. So Bloomberg opinion piece, right? So the economic debate over the day centers on whether the cure of the economic shutdown is worse than the disease of the virus. Similarly, we need to ask if the cure of the Federal Reserve getting so deeply into corporate bonds, asset-backed securities, commercial paper, and the exchange-traded funds is worse than the disease of seizing the financial markets. It may be. It's just in the past few weeks, the Fed has cut its rates by 150 basis points, near to zero, and run through its entire 2008 crisis handbook. It wasn't enough to calm the markets, though, so the central banks also announced $1 trillion a day repurchase agreements and unlimited quantitative easing, which includes a hard-to-understand $625 billion of bond buying a week going forward. At this rate, the Fed will own 2/3 of the Treasury market in a year. But this is an alphabet soup of new programs that deserve special consideration, as they could have profound long-term consequence for the functioning of the Fed and the allocation of capital in financial markets. Specifically, these are the CPFF, Commercial Paper Funding Facility, that's buying commercial paper from the issuer. The PMCCF, Primary Market Corporate Credit Facility, that's buying corporate
What's the chase on this, man? What is it? What's
Say
happening
again?
here?
Well, these are all markets. I mean, these are all programs that they're going to be using to buy paper, buy financial instruments. So what?
Oh, they love instruments. Yeah, okay.
Right, they love instruments, right? But all of this stuff is what they're pushing in. You know, what's in this buyout bill or this stability bill or stimulus bill, whatever you want to call this rescue bill that they're putting out? This is what's in it, right? These special programming entities to go ahead and buy up paper. So all of the bad market stuff that's out there is also going to be purchased, like buying all the bad mortgages. Right. So who bought them last time in 2008? Right. It was indirectly the Fed. Back then, they had someone else stand in the middle and buy it for the Fed, and they went to the Fed to get the money.
Right.
So they're not doing that anymore. Now it's the Treasury is going to do it through these special purpose vehicles, right? That they're putting up. So
this basically looks, to be honest, like Kim pulling back all the debts.
Right. It's basically that's it. It's going to grab up all of the bad stuff, right? All of their power, right?
Yeah.
Because they're sitting on all of this paper, which gives them the power. You know, one man's debt is another one's asset. So they keep swapping these things, giving themselves power.
Does that mean they can't foreclose anymore, Dan, on people?
It eventually can be that, yeah. But we're talking a much higher level of what's going on.
These are all like futures type stuff. It's like these all represent debts that will be paid back from someplace eventually.
Sure, yeah. Because if you have a bond, right, you're taking money from someone today and giving them interest and paying out the bond later, right? So it's all about grabbing money now and so on and so on. But so here, mortgage-backed securities and assets issued by Fannie Mae is what the Fed is allowed to do, right? That's the only thing they're allowed to. All the rest of the stuff they're not even allowed to do it. But in this case, so how can they do this? The Fed will finance special purpose vehicles each to conduct these operations. The Treasury, using the Exchange Stabilization Fund, will make equity investments in the CPV. That means they're going to own them, the equity, right? So if these SPVs are buying these things, they're also now owning them because they're having. So it's still like an in-between vehicle. They're still using a middleman, these SPVs, to do it, but in essence, they're the owner. They're ready. So it's the Treasury that's going to end up owning it.
Well,
And it
these
says
parts don't make sense. Well,
it says,
okay, this is good. One of two ways, right? So BlackRock is definitely part of. I mean, this is part of the whole Black Ops.
sure,
Black Sun
exactly.
group, right? BlackRock, Black Ops, Black Sun.
Yeah.
So BlackRock's no good. But if you think about it, if they're buying up bad debts, they're really just going to cost them more money.
Well, look what it says. It says the Fed has hired BlackRock, right?
Right.
So they obviously they're the bad guys, right? Yeah, and so the Fed, another bad guy, is hiring another bad guy to do these purchases, right? So so maintaining in their mind some aspect of control, but the Fed is acting as the banker, right? He's is doing exactly what the Treasury wants, right? But who's ultimately owns it? The Treasury.
Yeah. Wow, that's I'm thinking about this, how in the letter that has been given to President Trump in the United States, it really acknowledges the return of Washington, D.C., the land of Washington, D.C., back to the Republic, right? As well as all of the Federal Reserve, and dissolving the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah.
So if you were dissolving the Federal Reserve, wouldn't you have to go back and take all of their assets and then,
balance the
take
books?
off?
You got to balance the books, right? You want to seize ownership of what?
Right. Of
all of Wall Street, all of the corporations, all the stuff that the interlocking companies that are ruling the world. This is the seizure of them.
Wow. No, you're right. Yeah, we're gonna buy it up because you guys have no money.
Right.
And all your early opportunities are over. Now you'll basically. So I don't know what BlackRock. I mean, this is where it's like. It feels to me like with these deals, it's almost like they're put in there because they're liable, right? Like they're showing like you're working with them, but I know I feel very clear on this. Kim's taking as basically put it out there. The people will be in place. The people will be taken care of first. Now this is what I've been waiting for. I mean, and right now it seems very much like a hard line in the sand, right? You got big dramatic, no corona. Corona. Everybody's freaking about coronavirus.
Yeah, it's the beer virus.
Yeah, I know. Corona's everywhere. Everybody's sick. So
the thing about the coronavirus is just like having a couple of Coronas, right?
Yeah,
you feel a little bit mellowed out. You gotta lay down.
You feel like you just drank really bad beer.
Yeah. Might as well add a lime to it.
Anything. Yeah, so it's all kind of crazy, and Kim's not giving this stuff is my conclusion based on fragmented pieces of information over a couple of years here, but I think I'm pretty close to right, and I really think it plays out. Right now, it seems to be the smackdown right now. It's enough's enough because you have to get money in the hands of people. You have to. Like you can't allow this to go on and allow them to, destroy the economy the way they plan. You have to give power back to the people. So.
Well, and I think this is what we're seeing, and this one statement is really the crux of it. The scheme essentially merges the Fed and the Treasury into one organization. So meet the new Fed chairman, Donald J. Trump.
That feels so good, doesn't it? Like
It
the
does.
energy from that sentence. Like it makes me want to be like, yeah, like
So
good job, you know? Like it's worth it. Got him.
yeah, it's just like the plan is coming together. You know, it's an A team here. So so this article is was pretty good, but so it's like down here this way in the orange it says why stop there? That Trump should when re-election he could use the SPVs to get those 10,000 Dow Jones points he feels the Fed has denied everyone. So in other words, he'll have the ability to go ahead and just buy the stock to force it up, is what it's saying. Well, it also means you take control. So all of this Wall Street entity, this behemoth out there that sucks up all of the energy of the people and feeds it to the bloodline families, right? This system that was put into place can now be acquired using the same system and the tools that were put there. It'll be a mass consolidation, and at that point, you can restructure all these businesses along the way, remove them from their their task of depopulation.
Yeah. Well, I feel great about that, and
Yeah.
I always like when you get into these things a little more. That's good.
Yeah. So that
Dan, that's what I got for the night, man. Lisa.
Yeah, I'm good. That was great. Thank you, Tank, for doing our 6-minute update, and thank you, Dan. It was great. No, it was all good.
Get that done. I feel like the only way to get that done for me is like I got to be like outside away from the house.
You got to be out in a field by a dumpster, and it works so good. You get 50,000 views, so we got to get you back out by the dumpster. But I love you, Tan. You look great. Thank you, Dan, for doing half a live show with us because we got part of it out, but it was good. So
this will be the great mystery show where we all broke it down, right?
Yeah.
But you got to go to different channels to figure it out.
Yeah,
it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. So we're going to put a prize out for those of you who can figure it out by tomorrow. So no, it was good. Thanks, guys. It was a good night. So yeah, thank you.
All right. Dan, appreciate it. I will talk to you tomorrow. Everybody have a great night out there in the land of Oz.
All right. Good night, everybody. Be sure to subscribe. Numbers are going up. Give the likes. Everyone watching, give that like. Go ahead, do it. You can do it.